Welcome to episode 7 of Feelings in Flannel. In this episode, we are going to uncover our number one, and we are both excited about that. However, I must say a cheater is exposed, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Tune into this episode, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Feelings in Flannel is hosted by us. I'm Adam.
I'm Amelia.
And we are a father-daughter combo who are setting out to debate the merits of love, romance, humor, and faith in rom-coms new and old.
Listen and join us as we seek to name the top 5 rom-coms and discuss masculinity and femininity together and how that plays into role. Make sure to like and subscribe and share it with your friends on social media.
Stay tuned.
Well, here we are, episode 7.
Yep.
And we're finally going to reveal movie number 1.
Movie number 1 in episode 7.
I'm excited about this one.
I am also excited about it, and I feel like I owe our listeners a bit of an apology.
Why?
I had an atrocious headache in episodes 5 and 6. I was struggling pretty bad. I have a feeling it's going to be noticeable. But, maybe they don't know. We record multiple episodes in a day. Mm-hmm. And so that day did not end well for me. So hopefully my energy is better. I'm feeling good. I'm excited about number 1. But, yeah, I think I bombed there in at least in episode 6.
As I think your energy was going down progressively with each episode, and mine was going up as we kept talking about these movies that I grew up watching.
Well, no doubt you're the content expert. I'm here to provide a perspective. That's mostly my role, which brings me, of course, to, Mirror. So for the men out there listening or watching, I have the emotional support acts, Mirror, right here beside me. That makes it safe for us to talk about our feelings and and to express how we really feel about rom-coms. So I got Mirror, got my drink, and got my favorite daughter. What else is there?
Nothing, except for to talk about movie number 1.
Movie number 1. So we've been doing a little rock, paper, scissors to decide who decides. So we'll continue that, I assume. And I'm ready when you're ready.
All right. I'm ready.
All right.
I've been ready. I woke up ready.
And did you wake up playing rock, paper, scissors?
No. I woke up thinking about this movie.
Oh, wow. I did not. But anyways, let's do this.
Before we get into it, should we try to guess each other's number 1? Just to spice it up?
We can try. Just know that my rom-com list is limited to basically the starter pack that I created, which, as a reminder to the men, if you're looking for a rom-com starter pack, please reach out. I can send you a list of easy-to-enjoy rom-coms that you could easily start with you and your significant other. That said, I don't know if I can guess. I'll give it a shot, though.
That's the whole point.
How many guesses are we going to attempt here?
Just one.
One solid guess.
Yeah, because we don't need to try to read each other's expressions. And I'm not good at lying or hiding things, so I'll give it away before I even talk.
Okay, so I think your number 1 is... I'm going to pull one from my top 5. I think your number 1 is The Proposal.
Interesting guess. I'm just laughing because I don't know how to respond. Okay,
Wait, are we supposed to say if you got it right or not?
No, you'll find out when we review.
No. Okay, I got you. All right, my number 1, what do you think?
I think your number 1 is... I'm tied between 2 Weeks to Notice or Pretty Woman. But I'm going to go with Pretty Woman. That's my final guess.
That's a good guess.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. 2 weeks notice, I can't quite recall.
That's also Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant.
I do remember watching it, but I just can't remember the details. Pretty Woman, however, that's an excellent movie and an excellent guess. But we'll see, won't we? Mm-hmm. Enter the arena, my little one.
We lost.
Why are you so bad at this?
How's it my fault? How do we know it's not your fault?
Well, you get the rhythm of a white person.
I am white, and I have little arms.
Oh, you can't reach your own hand? It's ridiculous. All right, ready? You always go scissors. I know what you're going to pick. I feel like when you win, I give it to you because I know what's coming next. Watch.
Well, that's not my fault. What am I going to choose next then?
Watch. All right. See, I gave you that.
Yeah. All right. I want you to reveal first.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Are you absolutely positive? Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. My number one is going to create some controversy, I believe. And I have to say that it is genuinely in my top 5 movies of all time. You know, Hitch is up there as well. But this one, I think, is going to create a bit of controversy between us. And I'm sorry about that. But it is what it is. So, without further ado, my number one is the 2012 movie Pitch Perfect.
That's an excellent choice. I wasn't even thinking about it as a rom-com.
Well,
I was thinking about it as a musical.
I have to say, and I know, back to the men, I know that I'm going to get judged hardcore for this. And I want to say to you, I'm okay with that because I really like this movie. This is a rock solid movie. It has a crushing soundtrack. It's hilarious. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And I, you know, if I had to admit a guilty pleasure, I like singing competition, dancing competition movies. I do like them. That is nothing I have ever vocally admitted, but now I just admitted it to the world. So this fits all those, and there's a love story woven in there that really is the centerpiece of the movie. And it does, most importantly, in a internet search, return as a romantic comedy. So this is hands down my favorite. I love this movie.
I never would have. That wouldn't have been on my radar as a rom-com because in my head I classify as musical because the soundtrack is so good, and I own the soundtrack, and sometimes I pop it into my CD player and have a great time because it's.
When you pop it into your CD player, first of all, you have a CD player.
Yeah, I'm proud of that CD player.
I mean, we're cheap. I know, like we don't have a lot of nice things. So you're rolling in an older vehicle, but when you pop it in a CD player, do you be like,
no, I would never ever be doing that.
One of my favorite parts of this movie is the physical comedy in it as well. But yeah, this was a good one. And honestly, so I watch a lot of movies in flight because there's nothing else to do, and I travel enough for work that I watch several movies in the air. And this was recommended to me by a friend, and it was available in flight. And so I watched it, and I'm telling you, the people beside me had to think, what is wrong with this guy? I had suppressed laughter through most of the movie, sometimes just out loud laughing. Tears of joy. This movie is incredible, and this is the one that I would recommend. Hitch is a good one. but this is a good one to start with all the way around for the men. So this is it. I don't know. I'm glad that you like it. I thought you would push back on it a little bit, going down the path of it's a musical, not.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't go necessarily first to a rom-com as its first genre, but the love story in it is very sweet. Mm-hmm. And so I'm a sucker for a good love story. And for those of you who don't know, it's impossible to make him laugh. So the fact that he was laughing out loud with people around with this movie is enough for you to go watch it.
They know that's a lie.
It's not a lie.
It is a lie. Watch episode 2 and you know it's a lie. I laughed the entire episode to the point of tears. I enjoyed this movie so much. You'll remember this. I don't know what year it was that I watched this. It was within the last 4 probably. I enjoyed this movie so much that when I got home from my trip, I purchased it and the second and third all at the same time because I made an assumption that the others would be as good. Number 2 is okay. Number 3 was a waste of everybody's time. But yeah, the first one, me, a grown man, a manly grown man, own this movie. It's that funny. I've seen it multiple times. I love it.
It is very good.
You better bring the heat, is what I'm saying right now.
Well, our number ones are literally polar opposites. So this would be interesting.
Is it The Notebook?
No. Actually, I was surprised it didn't even make my top 10.
It's not funny. That's why. It shouldn't make your top 10.
Neither is my number 1.
It's such a depressing movie.
It's a beautiful sadness. They are happy together. But yeah, that one it didn't make my top 10, which I'm surprised. But when I actually thought about it, I really like that movie, but not as a all-time go-to. My number 1, is vastly different.
Okay.
And actually, I have to be honest because the more I thought about it, I thought, I don't know. I think it comes up when you Google rom-coms. But when I think about the content of the movie, it's not really a rom-com. It's a rom-dram, rom-tragedy, rom break your heart.
So we may have a disqualification?
Maybe.
We're going to have to check with that report.
It's a classic love story, so it may still reign just because of that. But at least I was honest. So.
All right. Well, that's fair. But after you make it known, we're going to stop. I'm not going to stop the episode, but on live, while we're recording, we're going to search it and we're going to see.
Well,
and if it gets kicked out, you better have a movie to put in its place.
As number 1, I would have to rearrange my whole list. No. Honestly, my number 2 would probably bump up to number 1 because these two are like a hair apart.
Okay, so you need to pick a number 5 or something.
Yeah, and I already have one ready for that. So
okay.
It would be fine. But my number 1 is A Walk to Remember.
Oh, for crying out loud. That's worse than The Notebook.
I know.
That's such an awful movie.
I know. I made my sister-in-law watch it with me, and I don't think she still hasn't forgiven me for that. And well, you spoiled the ending for her, so you made it extra worse. So it's not really my fault. So she has an issue. She can take it up with you. But this movie, it's not a comedy. There's funny moments in it, kind of, but it's just to relieve the heartbreaking tension. So.
Right. Yeah, it's so that everyone watching it doesn't do something silly.
Yeah. But this movie, if you just look at the love story, is in my opinion, the most beautiful love story ever. And it's such a good movie. And I cry harder. I've watched this movie every year, and I cry harder every single time because, one, I'm not going to spoil it because I accidentally gave a spoiler alert last time without telling you it was a spoiler alert. But the ending is a lot harder to watch each time you watch it because you see their love story and you know what is going to happen. And you notice things you didn't notice before that he does for her, that she does for him. And I just cry harder every time. But it's a great movie.
Are you willing to accept if the result is this is not a romantic comedy?
No, but...
Are you willing to accept the results of this election? That won't make any sense in several years. But for those watching that this year, this drops in a really interesting time in our country's history. So back to the point, though, we're going to search it. We're going to do it right now.
I will understand if it doesn't make it. Accepting it will be hard because this is one of my favorite movies ever, even though it is a tragedy.
Okay, so the search is specifically, is A Walk to Remember a romantic comedy? You know what the answer is.
I know, but I don't want it to be true.
It is not.
Can I see?
Well, you don't trust.
No.
You don't trust
No.
me. Why?
Because I want it to be so
Why would
bad.
I lie to you?
I know it's not a rom-com because it's not comedy, but I want it to be in my top 5 because it touches lives.
Is classified as a romance drama.
Yeah, a rom-dram.
See it?
Just Google the most common rom-coms and see if it comes up.
It's not going to.
I know. I accept that, but I don't really. I accept the logic. But in the
What are the top 10 rom-coms? This is according to Google.
Okay, but here's the thing. I Googled it before to double check because I knew this episode was coming. But the Notebook is on rom-coms. Yeah, when I Googled it. And it's just...
Well, it's not on this list. And I think that it is a beautiful love story. I've seen it once. I don't know why anyone would watch it every year.
Because it moves you. It touches your life.
Okay. Well,
and the book is great too.
Unfortunately, then, your number 2 is becoming your number 1, which means you've got to insert a new number 5 or
I already have number 5.
Capitulate that Pitch Perfect is the number 1.
No.
I think you should consider it.
No. I already have my reorder if that is necessary. But I think
it's necessary. You lost. What do you mean if it's necessary?
Because it's just such a good love story, and that's what rom-coms are all about. Touching love stories.
Not.
Yes.
They're about romance and comedy.
But I've laughed in the movie.
That's twisted.
I don't laugh the whole thing. There's funny moments in it.
Well, so are you ready in this moment to reorder your top 5?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have to reorder it.
Yes, but could I
It broke the cardinal rule. We started this journey with one simple guideline. It had to be internet searchable as a romantic comedy. This one is not.
But it meets all my criteria.
But it doesn't meet our commitment, so it's out.
All right. Well, I'm struggling with acceptance a lot more than I thought I would. But there's so many moments, the way that he loves her, and they're in high school, so anyone can relate to this. Yes, there's a sad storyline to it, but that's realistic.
It is based on a true story.
No.
It is not.
It is not.
Are you sure?
It's based off of a book that one of the best authors, Nicholas Sparks, wrote.
All right. Okay. I thought it was based on a true story. I'm thinking of a different movie. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to crush your hopes and dreams there, but
and it even has a good soundtrack. They have Switchfoot and Mandy Moore.
You know what it doesn't have though? Comedy. And that's unfortunate.
But it's so good. If anyone has never watched A Walk to Remember, it might break your heart. But it also will show you the beauty of love between two high schoolers. And it's it's a good love story because it's not dirty. It's not inappropriate. It's the most purest, most beautiful love story you can get in Hollywood. Because they're high schoolers. So you can't get crazy because that's probably a little bit illegal.
If this podcast were about the purity of love stories,
maybe that should be.
You might have a winner. But you don't.
That's messed up. Yeah, I can do that.
I think that needs an appropriate.
But
that's what just happened right there.
Look at the joy and the love. And this guy, he's pretty good looking too. and Mandy Moore is gorgeous.
What is it? America's Got Talent?
Yeah.
It
That
has
is a
the
show.
buzzer.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of shows that have a buzzer, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you just got the...
And just, I have to say, they were each other's first kiss.
Oh, that's
in
adorable.
the movie.
Adorable. Still not funny. I'm
And she's
sorry.
saying
It
some of the
broke the
songs.
only rule that we made.
I know
We
it.
only made one rule.
And I didn't realize that till I was, when I was
okay.
with,
Okay.
no.
I found...
I know where you're going with that. The answer is no. I would take it out.
Why?
Top Gun. The answer is no. I will
If
reorder.
Top Gun can be in my top 5,
No.
you can have that.
No. No.
I'm calling for a poll.
All right.
Not whether it should leave it in or not. It's out. I think we agree on
Then
that.
we can't put Top Gun in.
But the poll is this for our listeners. We want to hear what you think. Which is more of a romantic comedy, Top Gun or A Walk to Remember? Let's see who wins between that.
It's pretty obvious. Top Gun's not a love story. I mean, kind of, but not really.
It's 100% a love.
No.
All right, we're going back to the internet.
It's a It's a sub storyline.
Oh man,
It's an action movie. I guess you could have the bromance between the pilots. That's kind of like a love story.
the whole movie is built on. I'm
know
going to
there's a love
IMDb.
DB.
DB. IMDb. We are not sponsored by IMDb. The first movie is what I'm talking about. Top Gun, the original.
Right.
Okay. The 1986 cinematic classic, Top Gun, is described as...
Not a
really
love
doesn't
story.
matter what it's described as. What I'm saying is it has a love story that has funny parts.
But when you think, I want to watch a love movie, you don't think Top Gun. If you're like, I want to watch an action or a classic or that kind of movie, it is a good movie. I'm not saying it's not.
It's a great movie.
It's an excellent movie. But as a love story, that's not what the movie is. It's just a sub storyline.
Okay, but if we run this back in season 2 and we do a top 5 action films, Top Gun's making the list.
Well, yeah, I figured. But
All right,
I accept that Walk to Remember has to be booted out. But I just had to say it because I have to talk about how great that movie is. Every person should watch that movie, male or female.
if there's any listener that disagrees, I'd love to hear your comments. And I know one out there who strongly disagrees.
She doesn't count.
Ouch.
She counts as a human being, and I love her. I would take a bullet for her. But her opinion doesn't matter in this movie because she refuses to watch sad movies unless I make her. But it's out of love that I do that. I push her to be better.
Okay.
And she pushes me to watch more comedy because I can't do it all the time.
Well, she missed this one. So what are you doing? Top 5 now becomes what?
All right. So counting down from 5 again. Actually, no, because I'll reveal number 5 now as the new one. So my number 1 now.
Go ahead and count them up.
Okay, so Walk to Remember is booted out, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Still a great movie. Number 1 is You've Got Mail.
Okay.
My number 2 would be Hitch now. I wrote it down. Let me find it really quick. I think Hitch was number 3 before. No. Okay, so now number 1 is You've Got Mail. Number 2 is While You Were Sleeping. Number 3 is Hitch. Number 4 is 27 Dresses. And number 5 would be 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, I think is her name.
So I want you to talk about this movie, but I want to say this. This movie made my starter pack. I built my starter pack on just looking across the list of rom-coms thinking, oh, I remember that. It was a good movie. I really thought this was going to be in my top 5. I rewatched it. It did not make it for me. But Carry on.
This movie, I have not watched every year, so that's new, but I have watched it more than 3 times.
Okay.
This movie, one, I feel like has the relatable aspect because they're in high school and it's kind of trying to figure out that whole thing, dating in high school. And I think what my generation is they call the trope, which is the type of love story. I don't really know my generation's lingo either, except for vibe. I don't even know if that's our generation's lingo. But it's like a trope, an example would be like friends to lovers type thing. Like it's how the story, like enemies, like they hate each other. Then they.
So it's kind of like a new version, a high school updated version of When Harry Met Sally. Wouldn't that be a trope?
No, I don't understand the question. When Harry Met Sally would be a friends to lovers trope because they were friends and then they fell in love.
Yeah, and then what you just said?
Yeah, but what are you comparing? Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry. I'm tired. I think I might bomb these episodes. But yeah, this movie, my favorite scenes, the song, I'm blanking on the name of the song. It's an older one, but he ends up humiliating her because she goes in to kiss him, but he says no because she's drunk and he knows that would be wrong because he's a stand-up guy.
Classic.
Yes. And you're just like, oh, what a man. Plus, he's good looking. Well, sometimes. To me, it's the smile that gets me. His smile is really good. Anyway. And then, so he's like, well, now I have to humiliate myself to make it even. And then he sings the song. I can't remember it, but it's like, and he sings it on the stage. And that's...
I'm not going to sing, but I really wanted you, if you'd have gotten right there, I wanted to jump in with the words. We're not going to do that. Miramir's powerful, but he's not that powerful.
Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. That one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song, one. And it's in the movie. And it also has a great soundtrack, by the way. And this movie, one, lots of comedy. It's very funny. It can be a little bit crude, but still funny. And their love story.
It's a plus for the guys.
Yeah. The love story is really, really, really good. And my criteria, the cue moments would be, one, singing to humiliate himself. And two, he does things with her and he writes poetry with her because she loves to read. Mm-hmm. And there's the iconic scene where she reads her poem towards the end of the film. It's basically the end. And she cries, and it's like the famous quote and everything. And they fall in love. And he gets her a guitar because she always wanted one. And it's a very, very good movie. And of course, you have the drama because they find out was a bet because it starts with taking the bet to date her.
Right.
And it's a double love story because the other guy, he's trying to get this girl's sister because he really loves her. So it's a double win. But actually triple. There's another guy that too falls in love in a weird Shakespeare kind of way. So it's just a great, great movie.
I would say, as we're wrapping our time here, we're getting close to time, but I would say for this one, not one, although I did enjoy it, it's certainly not one that I would recommend a lady start with.
A lady start with?
Yeah, if she's trying to get her man into rom-coms or even just to participate in one at all, I wouldn't recommend starting with this. I think the high school setting just immediately, gets a tick against it in the beginning, although it ends up being really well done. So, but we do have some on our list. We've got 10 movies out there. Mm-hmm. As we're wrapping up, I honestly am a bit surprised that we did not end up having any the same in rank. We did both share Hitch. Is that the only one? That's the only one we had in common, I believe.
Well, now that my list is rearranged, it is at number 3, so now it does match up.
So our number 3s are the same because you tried to cheat. for number
I
one.
didn't. I just tried to make a case for a phenomenal
You did, and you tried really hard.
because it deserves somebody to fight for it because it's such a good movie.
Sure.
And I will go to the grave fighting for that movie.
Okay. Well, you made a case. Unfortunately, it broke the only rule that we set forth, and therefore it had to be eliminated. But we've got now 9 solid movies out there that I think there's a couple in there certainly that a couple could start with and both enjoy. Hitch being one of those, The Proposal definitely being one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch Perfect, I think, it's going to catch the guys off guard. That's the thing.
Definitely.
Like, you're going to sit down thinking, this is stupid. And by the time you are 30 minutes into it, you're going to be a little bit hooked.
Unless they hate musicals. If you really hate
Even
musicals.
then, I'm going to go as far as to say no, because the soundtrack is so good.
It is good.
It
And it's
connects,
very
especially, I'm a Gen Xer, so if a Gen X male is listening, they're going to connect to a lot of the music. And
that's true because they do covers of a lot of older ones.
So that's always good. And there's competition. So anyways, but we've got it. We've got all of your 5, all of my 5 out there. It's public now, unless we bind and gag the strange man behind the curtain. This is going public here, and we won't be able to stop it. But I feel good about it. I've enjoyed talking about those, and I think next we've got to decide. Now we've got 3 episodes to narrow it down to an agreed upon 5. You ready for that?
Yeah. In the future, if I decide I want to change my number 5, is that a possibility?
I think because of the circumstances that would be allowed, but it has to be decided before the end of episode 8.
Okay, because I'm kind of rethinking it now because I just looked at my top 10. There's it's so hard. There's so many good ones, and I can't decide. But where they fall in line, this one automatically bumps up. But the other 4 that follow that one are really, really good.
All right. Well, we're out of time now. So see you next episode. Good luck deciding which one's going to be in 5. We'll find out in episode 8.
Yep.
All right. Great episode.
Yep.